PaperArtsy, and I've got another 2016 new product release for you. We've got hot picks tonight, and it's really lovely to have a nice selection of hot picks to share with you. They're such great stamps. They go back to our roots. As a company here at PaperArtsy, we're most renowned for our collage style stamps, and that's what hot picks are all about. So Mark's done some beautiful stamps this time round. Do take a look at the description on this YouTube video to go to all the links back to our blog and to stockists. Let's take a look at the stamps. This is Hot Pick 1601. Hot picks always come in two different ways. They come on easy mount, which has got an EZ at the back of the code. So when you look at the stamp that way, obviously everything all comes trimmed out. And they also come unmounted, and when they come unmounted you get the whole sheet, and the expectation is that you trim it out yourself, put it onto foam ready to use. We always do recommend that you use a foam product to mount your stamps. That way you get the best stamped image possible. So this one is 1601, and as you can see there's lots of little houses on here. It really reminds me of alongside European rivers like in Bruges or places like Amsterdam. There's all these amazing tall little houses, and that's what this scene reminds me of. And the designers who I've asked to work with us to create samples have had such fun with this stamp set. Well, with all of them. The art is amazing to show you for this video. Helen Chilton always does beautiful bright colours, so she's used a little row of houses in the background, and then she's selected a couple to just really make them pop. So that's that one. Gorgeous. And here's one from Lynn Brown. Lynn has used all kinds of stamps in the background from various plates. She's also got a bit of stencil bumping going on there with the leaf. And then on here, little door with its little door knocker as well. She's layered that up, so she's sort of created a frame by layering up the stamp, so stamping it a couple of times, and then the door looks like it's set back. And I love the rusty shades that she's used on that, just brilliant. Here's a lovely little ATC from Kaz. Kaz Hall has done some gorgeous samples and lots of stitching. She really likes to have little elements of stitching in there. She's got tiny staples as well. And that house is also raised out. And then she's done this one too, and a few little splatters on the craft card in the background and some gorgeous stitching. She's got a crackle background, and on top of that she's stamped these houses, and they just really pop because each house is slightly different colour. Fantastic. And here's another one by Kaz. This time she's used a crackle background in a light colour and then come over the top with different colours of paint, and then stamped over the top of that. So that's a really simple way to create an interesting background. Now here's one from Lauren Hatwell, which is quite stunning. So she's got a standard door hanger, and you can see that she's used the hole where you would hang this on your door to create a frame for the houses there. And then she's repeatedly stamped the houses over and over onto the words here, just to create interesting detail, and then applied glossy accents on top of that. But there's even a very subtle crackle, really subtle crackle. So gorgeous. I love how she's sort of put a lighter shade over the top of this stamp element here in the background, and it just makes that sink back so that this stands out on top. And even the heart, look at the heart. She's got that tiny little stamp there which she's repeatedly stamped over and over on the heart just to give that pop. It's a brilliant idea. And she's also done this little canvas for us. So in the background there she's got the houses stamped on 3 different colours and layered up. And then in around the edge here again she's created an amazing patchwork of that tiny little stamp, which also goes right round the edge. So it's a lovely little niche box. And she's even stamped that stamp on the diagonal in the background there and left a little gap so that it's just using the same stamp in a light colour on a sort of a greyish greeny background. Fantastic idea. So that's from the very clever Lauren. So that's Hot Pick 1601. Let's move on to the next one, which is, I'm not doing these in any particular order, I must say, Hot Pick 1605. So this one again is by Helen, and Helen's done a beautiful bright background again, so she's used this large stamp in the background, and then she's used this one as the focal image on top here, but she's also borrowed the little archways from these 3 stamps to pop out the side there. She's a very clever little chicken, is Helen. We've got this one here from Kaz. So Kaz has taken the lovely collage stamp from the bottom of this plate, and she's stamped it onto a background which has got bits of blue and brown, and then she's put sort of white over the top. There's a few paint flecks on there as well, stamped the image and then started colouring that in various different colours, and created that central panel as a raised pop-up with the moth on it. Beautiful. It's really lovely detail. These collage stamps, fantastic, the detail in them. And Lynn Brown has created this one. So she's used her go-to colours of tango and claret and brown shed and contrasted that with the blues. And she's also created multi-layers. So there's 3 layers in there, and just allows her to make each layer pop depending on how she's picked them out. And I was just asking her about the background on this, because there's lots of little flecks which she's tickled with treasure gold, and she said that actually it's handmade paper, and the handmade paper has got these sorts of flecks built into it, and then she's tickled it with treasure gold, which just really makes them pop. So very cool background thanks to the handmade paper, and you can see there's even elements underneath there. Okay, so that's Hot Pick 1605, a beautiful stamp set. I love numbers like this, so I'm looking forward to using that on a journal page. So the next one we're going to move on to is Hot Pick 1602. This is a sample from Kaz. She's created a background, lots of different colours on there, and I love how she just uses little bits of stitching to create a frame, and layered it all together, added some colour to that central flower. And something bright and cherry from Helen Chilton. She's always using products in interesting ways, and here she's got, it's a shiny paper, so I'm guessing that we've got alcohol inks on here which give that gorgeous bright tone. Here's another one again. She's amazing how she works in such gorgeous colours. And then Lauren Hatwell. So she's gone for a stripped down card on this one, a bit more clean and simple. So you'll see on the moth there that she's put some glossy accents to really make that shine. But you might not have noticed on this stamp that Mark's created some elements that act perfectly as washi tape, and so that's how the manner in which Lauren has used those stamps here. And this brilliant ledger sort of a background with the numbers on it is gorgeous as well. And here's another one that matches that. Oh, she always finishes inside as well. Look how she layers up her cards inside. They're just gorgeous. And this one here, very similar. So she's just stamped the image and then layered up on top the flowers again, cutting out in more layers. Got the washi tape thing going on, so the colours are repeated down there. And then on the inside, she's got just another nice little interesting element on the inside too. Beautiful card. Now here's one from Lynn Brown. And Lynn is really into using fabric and a bit of stitching. She's got some beads on there as well. So if I bring that up a little bit closer, you can see the detailing in there. Really, she's got stitching on there. There's a bit of padding which makes things just pop out a little bit, and lovely to add the little buttons. And again, she's used the same washi tape idea with the fabric. And see, I love how she's used the moth too as an element on that. And then lastly from Kaz, we've got a couple of cards here, and she's used the craft card, lots of stitching, and the moth she's stamped onto old music paper, and it's a vintage paper. You can feel it's very fragile. And she's created a little flower down the bottom there, which has got splatters of paint on it, and a lovely key. Really lovely piece. And then this one she's done as well, which is a bit more stripped back and simple. And just the contrast of layers, the little bits of washi tape and the buttons. Stunning. So that's Hot Pick 1602. You can see there's so many elements in there to work with, but the one central collage is just really beautiful, really handy. Okay, the next one. So this is Hot Pick 1606, and as it's so much going on here in Europe at the moment in commemorating the First World War, there's a lot of great references to that. We started out with at the Tower of London with an amazing poppy display that was there last year, and there's so many things going on that we felt it was probably quite appropriate to do a stamp along those lines as well. And the girls that have been doing these amazing cards have come up with such stunning artwork for us. So here's another one. That first one was from Helen Chilton. Lovely arch shape frame. And then we've got this from Lauren. So Lauren has done some amazing colouring with pencils onto this poppy. Beautiful shading. Just the way she puts a little highlight of the light colour on the very lip of the flower is just the trick. It's gorgeous. And so nice to have that stamped and repeated in the background and then framed. She's also done this one here, which is again very simple, using those two guys. And this must have taken her hours. So she's got all these poppies, and she's even layered up a little die cut shape into the center there. Just coloured them in a stunning way and put the little soldier on the side there. And then she's put the Flanders Field quote down the side there, that lovely piece of prose. It's really nice to have, and I didn't show the centre of this card, have an opportunity to do cards like this, because it does seem that there are many people who are affected with family members who are involved in some kind of military action somewhere, so it is nice to have something that we can use in those circumstances. This one's from Lynn, and Lynn Brown has created this with a little bit of colour on there, lovely warm background, and she's actually cut out and layered the front petals so that they've got a bit more height, and then she's done the same with this section here so that that's got a little bit more height. You see there? And it just gives dimension in a beautiful way to the poppy on that. And then we've got a couple of stunning samples from Kaz Hall, and she had the same idea about the centre of the poppy here by just stamping it again onto delicate paper, and it just gives that fantastic dimension. Isn't that amazing? All sorts of little bits of ephemera in there. And she's also done this one. And again, this is on Altered Book Page, so you can see where she's curled the leaves over, the petals over. You've got that interesting detail on the back. Love the little bit of moss as well. So there we go, 1606. And we've got another one. This is the final stamp, Hot Pick 1604. And this one's got a little bit more of the quirky thing going on. So let's start with this here by Kaz Hall. So she's used the lovely number background there, and actually this Extraordinary Adventure comes off one of the other stamps. That's off the bottom of this plate here, Hot Pick 1602. So that's just a little word phrase down the bottom there that she's borrowed. And she's also got a couple of the numbers from the one with the long strips of numbers on it. So that's that one. And Kaz has also done this one here. So I call this the Shrek girl, this little girl, because she's got little like Shrek ears coming out the side, so that's what I call her. But I wasn't so sure about it, but they've all loved working with this stamp. And Kaz has tipped the head a little bit more onto one side, and each one of the designers said, oh my god, I just love this little girl. So that's quite funny. That made me laugh. Here's another one. I think this is by Lynn Brown, maybe. Oh, maybe not, because it's not written on the back. Maybe that one's by Kaz as well. I don't know. I'm not sure who sent. Oh, it might be Lauren. I think Lauren did this one. Okay, Lauren's the only one that didn't write her name on the back, so it must be Lauren. And she's got this lovely blue background. She's done a resist technique, so you can see that she's embossed in clear and then put ink, rubbed ink over the top to create the background. And then on top of the dress here, she's got the Rock Candy Crackle by the looks of it, which has given a nice sort of dimension. Lots going on that card. And we've got this one by Lynn Brown. So she also had a bit of fun. She's actually put some earrings through her Shrek ears. I love the little, all the detailing that she's done on the crown at the top. I don't know if you can see that. It's amazing. She's got lots of tiny little pearls detailed on there. And she's even given her some nice little wire arms and a little spring at the bottom she's added, and she's got little pearls for hands. Very cool. So, and these aren't Lynn's normal colours at all, are they? She's gone pink and purple, which is good to see. And then finally we've got this from Helen Chilton. So it's actually a little stand-up niche. And so there we go. So she's got a little base on it so that it stands up, and then she's put the little girl in there, and she's got lots of little wire coming out the top there. So fantastic release, fantastic stamps, fantastic samples. So thanks for joining us for this hot pick release. All of these stamps will be available very soon from your PaperArtsy stockist. We're anticipating March 2016 it will start arriving in their hands. Make sure you contact your local retailer and let them know which ones you need them to get in stock for you, but I'm sure all of these are going to be on your wish lists for some time to come. They're fantastic stamps. So do enjoy them, and don't forget to check out the description at the bottom of the video for any more information should you need to have it.